Stu from UOV Futures here, and today, well, to be honest, we're stuck inside. Corona's locking the world down, so I thought I'm just going to jump in, talk to you guys, and find out what's happening. Now, I've never really done a live stream like this in front of my computer, so I'm going to need your help in the chat to find out to sort of troubleshoot some of these bogs, some of these bugs out here. So I want to know how the audio's going. What's the stream? I'm getting some error. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. So I have no idea what that's like. Yeah, if you could just let me know in there what's happening, what's the stream like, all that sort of stuff. I guess I could watch it on YouTube as well, but it gets a bit confusing when you're looking at all different types of windows. So thumbs up, thumbs down, all this sort of stuff. What's it actually like? Just going to scroll down here and check some settings, check some comments. Oh, all good. Sounds so good. Hi, everyone. Oh, fantastic. Rightio. So, I don't really, I plan to be just sticking around for a while, answering some questions for you guys. I might play some games, just chill out, watch some videos, all that sort of stuff. So if you are stuck indoors, inside, you're not really doing too much, well, come along, throw your comments down, and let's all meet up. I got my morning coffee. It is 10:45 in the morning over here, and I want to go out flying, but you're not really allowed to do anything recreational over here, which is kind of understandable, but also frustrating. So no meeting up with Crestus Tau, Trev, Wingman Jono, you know, all the boys. We can't meet up and have a fly. You're limited to 2 people. Rightio, let's have a look at some of these questions. And I've got to give a shout out to the first people who popped in here. So Josh Burns, hello. Tweak FPV's always in here. Cloud Chaser, what's up, Stu? People happy that I'm going live. Can't wait. Okay, we got our first question from Sean. We're just going to jump in, answer some questions. Can you use the DJI radio controller with a drone that does not have an air unit? And I'm going to say no, you can't. You need that receivers and their radios need to be matched up. So it's just not going to work. That's one beauty about the DJI receiver air unit is it's got kind of everything built in. So a lot of times you can just get that radio. You don't need to worry about wiring in an external receiver or anything like that. It can just straight up talk to each other. What else we got? I want to start flying as cheap as possible. Well, there's definitely a lot of some really, really cheap kits out there, but I would say something like the Tiny Hawk Ready to Fly kit. So that's to Mr. Fruit is a fun little kit that everybody can get flying and just have an awesome time. Rightio. So I'm just going to scroll down. These chats things seem to be piling up. Okay. Younger Buckets. What's the best FPV starter drone, like a 5-inch racing drone? And I'd like to know what you guys think about this one as well. I would say a starter drone, probably, look, one that seems to be pretty robust would be the Emax Buzz. So that's a 5-inch drone. It comes out of the box. You can just bind it straight up. It's a little bit heavy, but it is made very, very tanky. So if you want to bash into things and kind of smash your way around and not have to worry too much about your drone protecting the electronics, that'd be a really good one out there. Am I getting the Orcas? So this one's from Chuck A. Are you getting the Orca goggles and reviewing? I would love a set. Orca, if you happen to watch this stream, they won't email me. They don't seem to respond to emails, and yeah, I don't think so. After what I said about the Fat Shark HD2s, how when I tried them, they just weren't for me, and the other boys didn't like them, and I guess if goggle companies watch those videos and they don't like the things I have to say, it would be a bad idea for them to send them to me for a review because look, they look very expensive. They've got some stiff competition. They might be fantastic, but when I speak about the pros and the cons and I bring all those up for my viewers and I say, look, this is an awful lot of money here. Would you be getting these? Is it really worth it? Just from what I've seen online, I'm not 100% sure. And they probably don't want me to say that opinion and spread that to, 190,000 people and make a video about that. So I don't know. I don't expect Orca to be sending me something like that. That's just one of the things about if you do some reviews, some companies decide not to send you stuff based on what your feedback might be. Do I still fly my Armated Marmot with the DJI Air unit? I don't think I ever had a Marmot with the DJI Air unit in there. So that one's from Latsut. Lewis Stephen, he's not happy with Fat Shark, whatever he's saying in there. Sean, does the DJI radio work with the Cadex Vista? Yes, absolutely. They can bind up, so you don't need to put it in an external receiver or anything like that. And there is a lot of questions coming in. This is great, fantastic. And also too, give me I still want to know about the audio, the video, all that sort of stuff when we do screen captures. I would appreciate from you guys as much feedback as possible on how the stream's going, what you'd like to see, all that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking going live for the first time, just sitting here by myself. I was like, you know what, this might be a bit of fun. This one's from Genesis, RC, and FPV. How is the kid going? She must be 2 or 3. She is just about to hit 3. But the crazy part is we now have a new daughter as well. So we've got a 3-week-old and a 3-year-old, and that's probably why I look more like a zombie today than in some of the previous months and previous videos. Because anyone with kids knows it is one is fine. You know, you're like, okay, I can kind of survive this. I'm getting used to this. But when the second kid comes along, it's just, whew, I don't know. It's it's a lot of work. I don't want to say anything that might be recorded in history on the internet. So let's just say 2 kids, it's like you have no time to yourself, and you either have the option of like, I should go to bed now and sleep, or do I want to just spend a tiny bit of time mentally recharging my brain and doing something that I enjoy? All right. Oh, someone says they're getting lag. It's good though. Congratulations. Oh, thanks, Genesis. I'm glad you. That means a lot. Thank you very much, ma'am. All right. Sound check, check, check. That's from Roland B. Thanks very much, brother. Okay, so let's answer some of you questions you've got about drones. Mr. Legrini, does the XM Plus micro receiver work with FlySky? No. So you've got a FreeSky receiver talking to a FlySky radio. Normally, look, there might be some hacks and modules and stuff. Let's put that to the side. But normally, they don't work. It is like saying if you speak Spanish, which might be FreeSky, and FlySky speaks Chinese, do they talk to each other? No. They might be saying the turn left, turn right to each other, but they can't understand each other, and it's just not going to work. That's how I explain things too in analogies. Australia internet is death. Yes, absolutely. So FlySky and FreeSky, they're not friends. They won't talk, and that's going to be the same whether you be in like the TBS Tango, whether you're using Spectrum. If you're using Spectrum, use a Spectrum receiver. If you're using a FlySky radio, use a FlySky receiver. If you're using FreeSky, guess what? Use a FreeSky receiver. All right. This is rad. This one's from Andre. This is rad. Just got into FPV and used your $99 bill with some upgrades, but I'm debating on just getting a Nazgul 5. You know what? That is also a fantastic option. I've seen them pretty cheap at around the $150 mark to jump in just straight out of the box, and they are an absolute baller quad. Very power hungry, but I flew mine on 5S, and it drastically changed the performance of that. It just turned into just a scary beast muscle car brute force drone it just blew your socks off. But it literally, quite literally, made my battery burst into flames. So it just exploded. I took it off, took the Velcro strap off, and then kaboom, it exploded. I'm gonna put this down a little bit actually, because that way you can see my explanations, and you guys all know how much I wave my hands around. All right, here's a good one. So this one is from Sebastian Berrio. What is the difference between EV800Ds and the 800DMs? Now, this kind of gives me the shits actually when I see people talking up the DMs so much and saying, "Oh, you should get these." I see it come up a few times in my Discord, and they're like, "Oh, the 800Ds were good. Maybe you should just get the DMs as the upgraded one." Nope. They like you can adjust them. They slide in and out a bit, but they are not a good goggle. I didn't recommend them whatsoever. They just didn't work as well. They weren't as comfortable on my face. They're just a bit of a dodgy goggle. So don't go and get the 800 DMs. And something that I disagree with a lot of the community, but look, a lot of people seem to like them, is the 800Ds. I kind of think are just they're not even the best goggle either. What you should get is the Hawkeye Nun goggles. We call them the Nun goggles anyway, and they're really comfy. They fit just like the eye focus fitting, where it has like this mirror thing. You don't get any eye strain. I got them as a joke. I was like, this will be a bit of a joke review, and turns out they were actually awesome. Okay, let's have a look. How's the quarantine going in Oz? So this is from Chris Zawalski. I hope I said that right. I feel like it came out of sounded pretty good. It's okay, I guess. It's just a little bit scary. You can't go out and fly. You can't work too much. You can still make some live streams and try and get some views and review a little bit in your studio, review some whoops and those, do some builds, but when it comes to actually your day-to-day life, they've limited it to 2 people. You can't really go outdoors, and you can't meet up with anyone, all this sort of stuff. Let's have a look. So what's the best budget Fat Shark style like goggles, not box goggles? This one's from Omega Development, and that would be, well, you guys have a guess, because I want you to put down what you guys think is the best Fat Shark style goggles. So, small, compact goggle, dual screen, and I'm going to have mine in the next 10 seconds. I will let you know what that is, because I definitely have a preference when it comes, and it's the ones I use all the time anyway. Have got a web page with FAQs on it where I can keep your current recommendations. You know what, Lee Fluff? There is something in development that is going to be coming. But if you jump over to my Discord, I wonder if I can get a Discord link up here, actually. Let's have a look. Invite. Where's my server information? Create channel. No, we don't want to do that. You'd think I'd know how to invite someone to my own channel, right? Let's have a look here. Invite people. I'm going to put a link in, and you'll be able to jump in here, and there's always people in here. And I want to give a shout out to Raven FPV, because he's been making some amazing guides. We've been collating them, putting them all together, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to check that link out, you should be able to jump in, hang around there for a little bit, and I'm sure Raven will jump in and link you a really, really cool document he's been working on, full of all that sort of stuff. So back to my favorite goggles that are Fat Shark style, and I've got to say they would be the Sky Zone. So the Sky Zone O2Xs are what I use. They have, can't even remember what the differences are, but they are pretty much the same goggle as the O2Cs. They're just like $10 more expensive. But that goggle, I think, for what you get, the reception is outstanding. The colors are extremely just vibrant, and my favorite part is they cycle through the channel so quickly. So coming from Omways, which I flew maybe in 2018 for about a year, if you jump in, you're flying those goggles, I'll see if I can get a picture on the screen as well of what they look like. Here we go. The Sky Zone O2C. Let's have a look here. And then, how am I going to do this? I've got to work out how to... I've got to add a new source on OBS. I'm pretty new to this as well. Let's add a source here and call it web capture. Actually, you know what? I should be able to click it on screen cap if I bring it here. This is getting confusing. Anyway, I will figure that out in a little bit. But yeah, these Sky Zone O2Cs, they're my favorite goggles. So that's definitely what I recommend people picking up. All right, please answer Ronnie's question. Well, all right. What's the best antenna to use on Fat Shark Scouts besides the one that comes with it that can get me better distance? So if you really want to go distance, get a helical. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's essentially it looks like a patch antenna that has a long tube coming off with a spiral, and if you really want to get a lot of gain, pick up one of those antennas. And that goes for, it's not just for the Scouts, that's for all your FPV gear. You will get a much better narrow beam, better distance if you use a helical antenna. I think they're even better than a patch, but they are a bit bulkier. A lot of people don't like to use them for that reason. Otherwise, you could just switch over and try and put a little patch on there as well. Do I like the jumper as a transmitter? It's okay. It depends which jumper you're talking about. Super Mud FPV. Oh my God, my internet is so behind. You must be in Australia as well. Sorry about that, buddy. Do you still use both analog and digital VTXs, and which do you prefer? So this one's from Ludstat1, and I say I actually do prefer digital. To fly around with. If I was just going to go fly around and have fun, you really cannot compare the quality you get back and also the reassurance I get with my link quality with my radio, although it has changed a little bit with the TBS Tango 2. I feel quite confident with that as well. But yeah, I feel very confident flying around with the DJI system. It looks great. I don't really notice the latency for my kind of flying or anything like that. So I just have a great time flying that around, and it really lets me enjoy the scenery and just be at one with the quad. But I still do, because I get a lot of analog quads coming in. It doesn't change that much when I have to go fly an analog. It doesn't seem like a drastic step down, at least for me anyway. I'm so used to the static that it doesn't bother me. It's almost like it's just completely blind, or I'm oblivious to it, or it just doesn't really bug me at all. So yeah, definitely I would fly digital if I had the choice, but flying analog, especially if you only had $300 to spend and you were desperate to get in the hobby, absolutely I would jump in and do analog, because digital is really expensive, and especially with depending on where you're from. I know the Australian dollar has absolutely tanked, and it's become everything's become twice as expensive. So if you're looking at those exchange rates and everything, and now with the world in a bit of a, what would you say, free fall in the markets, it could be a lot of money to go digital. So, if you're just jumping in to try it out, there's nothing wrong with going analog, and you can always convert your craft over to digital a little bit later if they've got the room. You just put in the air unit, which is the camera and the receiver, and you are ready to rock and roll. I'll stay with my HDOs, but if I had to buy now, yeah, HDOs are quite expensive, but if you bought them a couple of years ago, you might have got your money's worth out of it. All right. Oh, and Raven's jumped in the chat. I'm sure he can. If you could do me a favor in general FPV chat, Raven, would you be able to link that document? I think for somebody, if people want to read up on some stuff, that'd be fantastic. And then I don't know how long this stream's been going for. Feels like what do you got? Almost. I'm going to try and stay around for about an hour and just hang out with you guys. Oh, I forgot to scroll down. I thought the questions had stopped, but there's a lot of here. All right, let me have a look. Is there a split cam HD drone that compares to DJI footage? Not like the footage you record. I need some more info on what you actually mean there, Leonard. Sam wants us to sub to his grandma, but we won't read that comment out. Another one from Omega Development. I'm thinking about upgrading my EV800D goggles antennas for freestyle. What would you recommend? It's like, I already answered that. That was like a helical or a patch antenna or something like that. I'm sure you can stick that on there. Thanks, Raven. I can see you popping that up on Discord now. Is that a SodaStream bottle? Bro, I am addicted. So this one is from Resurrect Gaming. I am absolutely addicted to soda water. So I used to just drink it plain out of the, you go to the shopping center and buy those bottles. And it's like, man, that's using a lot of plastic. And I got a SodaStream for Christmas. Actually, I went up, visited my mum who lives in another state. We flew up there. They had a SodaStream. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll have some. And I was like, just smashing this. I'll drink like 4 liters a day. I don't even drink normal water. I am just an absolute SodaStream addict. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's gross. I can't stand SodaStream. I'll even take it to bed, and then, you wake up in the middle of the night, have a crack. It almost feels like being an alcoholic. Have a swig. Oh, I can feel the bubbles burning. Even though I'm still asleep, like, yeah, that's the good stuff. And then going back to bed. All right, here we go. Let's enough of that. Okay, so this one is from Myroslav, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but hi, I'm fairly new to the hobby. Thanks for your tutorials, really helped me. Thought it was a question, but I'm glad you enjoy that, brother. Is it possible for me to send some of my problems with my drone towards the Discord and get some help? Yeah, absolutely, over on the Discord. I'm worried my mic's going to cut out when I do this, but I'm going to jump over and show the chat, or show you guys my Discord server, and there's definitely some help sections. So just want to check here, and if the audio cuts out, I'll jump back because I do have to fix that. So testing. Hopefully that audio is still working. But on the screen cap here, there is a section for build help somewhere. General, show your vid. Build help right down here. It's got its own bit under help and information. If you want to throw your questions in here, there is a whole bunch of stuff of people helping each other. So this is even just from today, a couple of hours ago. They seem to be having some conversations and a whole bunch of things. So I don't know. If you are new to the channel or you haven't checked out Discord, all that sort of stuff, this bad boy is where it's at. This is where I spend a lot of my time, jumping in, having a chat, all that sort of stuff. What else we got? I have no idea what's going on in general. Hey, Stu's live stream. So hi, Megathon 360. Yeah, you definitely got in there. Jumping back to my ugly mug. Let's have a look. Oh, I should be able to then, if that's the case, show you what the Skyzone O2Cs are. If I was able to do that and didn't lose the audio. It looks like they've actually got up in price, which kind of sucks. I wonder if they're cheaper in the USA. So let me have a look at screen cap here. So that's these bad boys. I thought they used to be about 250, so that might have been when they're on super sale. But yeah, around the 300 buck mark is what I'd expect to get some of these. Um, so 330 is a little bit more pricey than kind of where I'd feel comfortable with them anyway. But at the crazy sales, so if you look at like the 11/11 sales, Black Friday sales, the Christmas sales, I have seen them down to like 250 or $260, which is outstanding value, I think anyway. I think even Onway V1s came in at about 150 bucks. All right, let's go back to this. Get my ugly mug on the screen. Why is your channel fifth on your list? What I don't know what you mean there by Scooter. Perfect time to build a quad. Drone is now. Yeah, because you're stuck inside. You got nothing else to do. What toothpick do I like best? So this one's coming in from Chuck A, and the answer would be toothpick. I really like for the HD recording the Gep RC little thing. I think it was called the Skip 3. That was not only was it really fun to fly, it had plenty of power, but it also, as far as I'm concerned, gave me really good footage. I like to watch my footage back, and I just found that it worked really, really well. But I also like the Armaton Tadpole and which was a cool little freestyle one, a little bit robust, and for insane power performance was the Avant something. There's a video probably towards the start of the year or the end of last year. It's a little Avant toothpick. I'm with Wingman Jono, and it was absolutely just a little ripper. Let's see. I'll see if I can find it for you. What was it? Avant toothpick UAV futures. I bet you it doesn't even come up in Google. Google does not. Is this the world's fastest toothpick? So that was this one right here. Oh, there we go. Let me get this online and I'll jump over. It was this little bad boy right here. So I don't know how you pronounce that, the Vanta. Vanta Avant was awesome. And it's about 21 bucks for the frame too, so a really fun little thing to build up. What do you think about the Ishi Lal 5? Well, mine burst into flames. Will there be any affordable build videos in the future? Can't say too much about that. About to buy a small toothpick or twig. What do you recommend? Yeah, this one here that's on the screen, that's pretty good. Mr. Cowley and his drone. How are you tonight? Do you still feel the Diatone 349 is a better 3-inch drone? Yeah, I think the Diatone 349 has proven itself that a lot of people enjoy it. It has crazy speed. It's just a fun little ripper you take out of the box. It works, and it's tuned really well too. Now, from what I've heard, when some of them, when I got them out of the box with the prototype ones before they had the tunes, they weren't coming the best. But now that doesn't sound good. But now they're coming out of the box and it's working. They're working quite well, from what I've heard, anyway. All right. This one's from Resurrect Gaming. Stu, I am currently like 82nd on the DSL qualifications on Xbox. Suck with lap times. How can I break through the plateau? Way more throttle, smoother corners, mate. If you are you using an Xbox controller on that? So I I I can't fly the DCL on Xbox using that remote. I felt just terrible at it, and I don't feel like it's a true representation too of how you're meant to fly in real life. You're much better off using a normal controller. I preferred it. Just it was vastly superior on PC. Let me is this stream laggy or anything like that? I'm trying to look at it, see what it looks like, and I'm not too sure what the quality is like. You working out of a cardboard box? Where's the prop tree? Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that what we had to do. We converted the garage, or as Mo Sislak would say, the car hole into the studio. So I film behind this side of the curtain, which you can't, which is just here, and then I put up this sort of plywood wall just to build a little box here. Put a heater in the roof, tapped into the central heating because it gets very cold here. So I have like a 2x2 little box that I sit in and spend most of my time editing, talking to my mates, mucking around on the computer, all that sort of stuff. All right. I have been. How is your Tyro 99? Oh, that one is lost. I wonder if anyone ever found that drone. That's one of the few drones I would say I have This one's from John Cecil, and I don't know what your stories are like when you go out flying, but for me, I hate leaving drones behind. I've probably lost one or two. Definitely the Tyro 99 and maybe one other, but I can't remember it. But the Tyro 99, we were flying out at a place called Gobbles, and I hit a tree doing the speed run with Cal. It was meant to be the part two video, and that day we saw about five, I don't know if they're brown snakes or tiger snakes. And if you know anything about Australia, that's those snakes are not something you want to deal with. And we haven't pretty much been back there since. It was scary stuff. Snakes, UAV futures. Let's see what we can get. Here we go. It'll be right at the start of my video, I think. Who's putting these ads on my videos? What's the deal there? So, if we go to screen cap and turn my sound up.
Position at the moment.
This is the sort of stuff we were finding.
I hope you guys are excited.
He's not in a strike position at the moment.
So Calvin went up there and was filming it. That is a fairly big snake, you can see. So not something that you really want to be messing with. And where we lost it to, I was like, man, I'm not going back there, because we lost it in this big scrub area, and we did look for it for about 10, 15 minutes, walked away. 5 minutes later, exactly where we were looking, we saw a pretty big snake, pretty big. I think that one was a tiger snake, the second one. We saw about 5 of these bad boys there. All right, the tree fishing video is a classic. Yeah, thanks very much, Jay FPV, for getting my quad stuck in the tree, and we have to get it up and try and get them down somehow. Xbox was a weaker pool of competition. All the pilots are on PC. That's what Resurrect Gaming is saying. They must still be talking about DCL. Can you do a review of drone on my phone, please? If you send me an email about it, sure. I actually did get some email about some app, but if that's it. Hey, Russ, Russ Wolf 911. I've been flying for about 2 years and I still suck. Is there anything I can do to get better? Well, because I know Russell and I probably speak to him every day on Discord, that's what happens, mate, when you're the world's oldest FPV pilot. It's quite difficult. So Russ has been around since I think it was the Great War, or maybe it was I think when I'm not sure. It was like with the Romans or something. Russ was about 4,000 years old. So I don't know, Russ. You just got to not be so old, brother. I'll see you in the next life. That's your problem. Radio. Okay, what vid editor do you use for your vids? So I actually use Premiere Pro, and I would show it to you now, but I am worried that my computer, I run everything off a laptop. It's a long story, I know, but my computer might explode if I try to load that up, do some editing, and live stream and capture with OBS. It might burst into flames, because also one of the fans doesn't work too well, and sometimes, no joke, it gets to like 92 degrees and I have a huge fan blowing on it. I've ordered new thermal paste, new laptop fans, all this sort of stuff. I'm going to do that replacement. So yeah, that's that. I wish I could show you. I'm getting distracted. Doesn't matter though, because it's just a live stream. But yeah, Premiere Pro definitely is the way to go. But I think DaVinci is one that's popular, and if you don't want to pay for one, I think DaVinci might be free. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I happen to use Premiere Pro, and since I've got on it, it took a little bit to get used to, but it is just, I couldn't go back now. It saves me probably cuts my editing time down by 60%. Russ says, thanks, you young whippersnapper. All right. This one, is it possible to do a $50 drone build? No. Not unless it's a pile of garbage that doesn't have FPV, and not really, not at all. All right, let me just check some stuff out here. If I move these windows around, I'm not too sure. Oh, Dodgy's even jumped in here. Hey, Dodge, hope you're going well, brother. All right, is this my first ever live stream? First ever one where I've just sat in and just sort of, I think it's calling just shooting the shit and talking with you guys and checking some stuff out. Yep, it is. I have done one in the field, or a couple in the field, and I've done one in the studio when I talked with Jono, but yeah, that was kind of more like a scheduled, we had some content to actually talk about in terms of we were looking at all these products that had built up. Here, I just want to jump in and answer some questions and have a chat with you guys. I still use Movie Maker, even though I have Premiere Pro. That's disgusting. If you are editing with Movie Maker, it crashes all the time. I did like my first 3 videos. That's something I'm going to show. Check out how bad these videos are right here. If I go to my channel, how can I do this? Screen cap, and then if I go, so we should your videos and sort by oldest. Check out some of my first flights. This is it. This makes me laugh looking back at this sort of stuff. Look at this, and I even put crash at end because that's how exciting flying was. So I think this was about 2 weeks in. I was flying stealth level mode, and I think I was 3 minutes of freedom learning to fly. Look at my fantastic description here as well. Click to start blocking ads. Thank you. And then you have no idea what the props were like too back in the day. And if you're looking at my videos on the right, you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of funny cat videos. And you'd be right, because my daughter is obsessed with watching funny cat videos on YouTube. She even sits on the couch sometimes with a little fake keyboard, fake mouse. There's nothing even on the TV, and pretends she plays the game watching funny cat videos. So I've been back here too at this flying spot getting distracted, but this, I think it was filmed on like a Mobius V2, and I was so proud to be able to go through these gaps. And I was like, man, I am the world's greatest pilot. Look at me go. I'm sitting on the ground like some pleb right here. Oh, these were the high-tech days. But you don't understand how hard two things were with these drones. They were like a tenth in terms of the responsiveness, or we just didn't have the refinement that we have in today's drones. You had to build them all. So things didn't even fit. Like imagine getting a VTX that does not fit in your frame. There is no space for it on your frame. You can't even put it in the stack, under the stack, between the stack. It just does not fit at all. There's no space on your frame. I had to cut out a special plastic mount and sort of melt 2 holes into it to fit my VTX on here. And the tune was probably a 1 out of 10. If you got a drone that flew like this nowadays, you'd think that something was absolutely busted. All right. I was getting distracted watching my own videos here, so sorry about that. Back to some of your questions why this is playing. What is the difference between 2 and 3 blade props? What's best for a starter? I'm going to say the best ones are just the most cost-efficient price ones. Nowadays, if you get some Cyclones or Gemfan, whatever you're going to be using that is current, don't get the old, terrible plastic ones where if you just even nicked a tree, they would shatter. You looked at them, they would break. That's what's on this craft right now, you're seeing, but it doesn't really make a difference. I would say tri-blade is probably a little bit more grippy. 5-blade might be a little bit more efficient and better for extreme top high speed, but just tri-blade feels better in the air anyway. That's why it's become the general go-to prop style. Need to adjust your D on that roll. It's got a lot of wobble. Yeah, you're telling me. This is about as good as they came, though, and we had to change our PID profiles, and we were using Lux Flight. I think this is what is in this. This is 2015. You got to remember, this is 5 years ago, boys. That's crazy that I've been flying FPV for 5 years. It's kind of 4.5 years. That's blowing my mind. So I know, and this spot was amazing too. But then I think this is a little crash. Look, just nicked that prop exploded. That tiny little nick made the prop explode. So this one is from Josh. What's your current favorite everyday radio? And I would say it is the TBS Tango 2. It is the bomb. And I use that in conjunction with my DJI radio, which I didn't think I would like, but that's grown on me as well. If I'm flying digital, I fly DJI mainly because it's just easy, it's set up, and I don't feel it's any negatives really with it. But I do prefer my TBS Tango 2. So if I could put my DJI quads on my Tango 2, which is an easy process, and I wasn't so lazy, I would prefer to do that. But the difference between the two isn't enough to warrant me bothering to go out and do that. This one is from Jamie Copeland. Where do I want to see the hobby go? So I would love to see national leagues. I would love to see people able to get out, get flying, having fun. Just a big part for me is how much it changes people's lives, right? So if you're the sort of person who I would speak from previous experience, I used to stay inside a lot. It was hard really to meet a lot of people. I played a little bit of sport and soccer and stuff, and at work, but nothing ever really clicked for me. And since getting into FPV, meeting people, getting out flying, just having an awesome time and exploring new places, solving problems, it has completely changed my life, changed my outlook on life. And I want to see it where it's common knowledge for people, where they have access to that in the community. So I think, oh, that might be something that I want to try. They get it and they can get bitten by the bug and change their life as well. So that's where I'd like to see the hobby go in terms of almost like a social thing where it's accepted more, it's allowed more, and people realize it for the great learning benefits and mental health benefits and just so many positives that this hobby has to offer. It really is life changing. Okay, Ethan, have I tried the EO13 Plus? Not from recollection. All right. Dyer says he loves his Tango too. The good old years when you can go out of your house and meet people. Yeah. FPV is great though, because I feel like too, being a bloke, it's a little bit, we kind of need hobbies to make friends and meet people, because it's like when you go fishing. I don't meet up with my mates and say, hey, let's go have a coffee and just stare at each other's face. It doesn't work, but people who go fishing, blokes just sit next to each other, side by side. They're both looking the same way, but shoulder to shoulder, and that's how they kind of bond. Same thing with FPV as well. All right. Someone said, you've come a long way with my flying. Thank you very much there, Mr. Cowley. We've got John is asking, would you ever do a GPS drone with iNav? Not really. I guess I've got so much other stuff to cover first when it comes to racing drones, and GPS drones are not really, it'll be a good learning project. I'd like to learn about it, but it's not my top priority. What else we got here? Flying a drone is not a crime. Well, not yet. Maybe for in some places, in some worlds. And if you tag me too, if you do at UAV Futures, it makes it easier for me to see a question when a question's going to pop up. Let's have a look at some of my other old videos. I thought this one was pretty cool as well, and I can remember sharing this one to my friend. So, or maybe it was even my mum. Let's check out the amazing video quality we've got here. What is it in? 720p. It's like, look at me flying through the Australian bush. Such a badass pilot. Oh God, things definitely have come a long way. Not only am I was freaking out here trying to hit that gap. That's how much I'm struggling to try to go through there. Oh, overcorrect. No, too much roll. And I probably cut this video short because I probably crashed as well. Gee. And I bet you I'm still sitting on the floor like a scrub. Yeah, there I am. If we pause here, you can see at the bottom, I was carrying it around in a suitcase, literally like a homeless dude with this suitcase I bought from the op shop. So yeah, you don't need the best gear to still get out and have fun. Which is also too why I say people don't need to spend like $10,000 on the most best FPV gear to get out and get flying. Not too many Okay, this one's from Nick Sebring. Not too many hobbies where people from all over the world can get together and just have fun. Absolutely right. I'm building my first drone. Should I start bigger at 6 or 7 inch and work down to 5 inch? No, just jump into 5 inch, bro. It's the most standardized, easiest to use format we have in a hobby. There's someone, Moving Shadows just jumped in. He's saying, g'day. What would you say is the max speed for a Tiny Hawk 1S? I want to race my brother's car. Well, I'm going to say it's a lot slower than your brother's car. Your brother's car is going to win that. But if you race it around indoors, you will win. All right, B Leaks. Good morning, Stu. What happened to Grumpy Trev and Crash Target, Cal? Grumpy Trev has been invited the last couple of times, a slacker, but he just hasn't turned up to come for a fly. He's been super busy with his work as well and his business. I think he's trying to do some stuff with that. And Crash Test Cal, he's got to drive about an hour to get down here. So Cal still comes over all the time, but we just don't get out for a fly that much. He's still flying his little XJBs around, but yeah, he hasn't been flying for a little while. Haven't seen him about for yonks. Yeah, you would be right. Homeless FPV from Dire Havoc. How do you update your Betaflight configurator? I would just go and just delete the one you got, download the latest configurator. Or you might even be able to install 2 different versions as well there. That's from John. All right, Mark Binder. I just started FPV, and I just want YouTube to know that you are and being big help. Cheers, brother. Thank you very much. If you jump over on Discord too, there should be lots of people there that can help you. There's still a few comments as well. What do we got? Dyer's eating some cereal, watching watching this video. So that's thanks very much for that spammy gift there. Eating some soup, Dyer. How do I get back to this bad boy? All right. What do you think about the Ishin Tyros? They're just cheap quads, and probably not. You're better off just to build your own and spend a little bit more money and get something like the Nazgul or something like that. Does the FSIA6B only work for big quads? What do you mean? It'll work for a 5-inch, or maybe if you can fit the receiver in your build, it will work for that build, as long as it's compatible with your flight controller. What's the Discord link? I wonder if I should be able to paste it in here anyway. If this is, here you go. The Discord link is there. Not soup, it's stew. Ha, 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 ha. All right, soldering tips for beginners. Yeah, absolutely. Use use solder and pre-tin, and make sure it's the flux in the solder, like rosin core stuff. Just it makes it so much easier when you put. All you need to do, if you are soldering, and this is your little pad, put your solder on there, put your solder on the wire so they're all hot and melted, all that sort of stuff. Put them together, then just sit the iron on top. They will merge together. It should take about 3 seconds. In and out. Get the job done. Don't muck around in there. No one's appreciating. You're going to burn some stuff. Just that would be my biggest soldering tip. And practice on something else before you jump over and do it on your like receiver board or your flight controller. Pull apart an old mouse. You are guaranteed to have something electronic around that you can solder first. Just find an old piece of wire, solder it to something else. Do that first before jumping over to work on your board if you've never done it before. And use lead solder. Do not use the lead-free stuff. Someone says they've got this phone case too. Yeah, this phone case, I got it because it looks hideous, but I thought the red would stand out if I'm trying to find it in the dark. Maybe I should have got a glow in the dark one actually, and it was like 20 bucks, but I thought it would be a bit better. It seems like a pretty dodgy one if you ask me. Moving Shadow, thanks very much, man. That's my first super chat for £5. That's like 1,000 Australian dollars. But yeah, cheers very much, bro. If you got any questions, fire away. I'll answer as many as I can, man. Ted the Pineapple Man, do you prefer toothpick or twig for small FPV flying? Much for muchness, I guess. I would say just it all feels very similar. I guess what's the definition of a twig? Just like a smaller little light 3-inch versus a toothpick is like a 2.5-inch. It's very similar. I got so many drones that it doesn't matter which one I'm flying for in terms of getting the data of which one I enjoy the most. They all still feel really good. So you're going to still have a great time. Camera Addict, I want to personally thank you for getting me into the hobby. Thanks, man. You're great. So I got to say, comments like this, people don't realize how much they mean to content creators, because I make this content to get people into the hobby, to change their life like it changed mine. So when I would get out and get flying and I saw what this did for me, and it gives me goosebumps just talking about it, the feelings I have of the people, places, and just the building, the problem solving, the learning, everything, connecting with people, just it really gave my life some very specific and just feel good purpose. And not that my life was bad before, but with FPV, it has become exponentially better. And just even the person that I've become, and I feel better about myself, everything, so many positives. I want other people out there to have that chance that it can change their life as well. So if it's helped you get into the hobby, it is my absolute pleasure. That is my entire goal of my channel. It's not to show people the latest and greatest, you've got to go buy all this top end gear, all this sort of stuff. Here's how to be the world's best racer. It is just welcome to the hobby. You don't need to get all this expensive gear. I just want you to try this and have fun and be able to access it and give you the information to digest it easily, where you can get in, have some fun, meet some people. Just then the world's your oyster. Then there's all those other videos you can go and learn and do all that stuff, become the world's best racer, get on DR or whatever you want to do. But as long as you're getting into FPV, my mission's complete. And so thank you. There's a lot of people in here too, like FPV's changed my life too. That's from Jeremy. So yeah, FPV is absolutely amazing. Happy Dance, Zen. Thanks, Stu. That one's from John Davis as well. Please make an updated $99 build. Look, it's maybe, maybe we'll have to see. I don't want to just make a build for build's sake, so it's got to be something special. It'd be very easy just to knock out a build every 3 months and say, here you go, this one, here's this one, and people would watch it. But it's not really what I'm about. I want to give people content that's worth watching as well. I don't want to waste their time. Is there any FPV meetups in Oz? I'm in Vic. So this one's from Degree. Yeah, absolutely, man. Jump over to, I think it's Eastside FPV. They've got some really cool members there. So, I'll give them a little shout out. They do a lot of work, and I think Heapsy Granger goes there. Just that they have a really strong community. BMS Thomas is there, so a whole heap of people. There is a huge community up in Melbourne. Man, there's lots of people jumping in with lots. Echo B changed my life. Stu made me get out and try something new and meet a great friend. We still fly all the time. Yeah, that's what it's all about, brother. Just meeting people. And I'm going to say too, if you are flying alone, do your best. There might not be anybody around you, but do your best to maybe go for a drive to meet someone, or even if it's like an hour away, do it, because the connections you have when you start meeting people and flying with them are just next level. And the hobby is amazing, but when you meet other people in the hobby, it just like it doubles what it's kind of like. It's amazing alone, but even better with two or more people. So insert all your innuendos there or whatever you want to do. But let's keep this PG. Have I tried the Mr. Steel Apex? If yes, is it all that and a bag of chips? So no, I have not. I don't know how expensive that is. I wonder if I'll do a quick Google. Mr. Steel Apex Bill. Let's have a look at his frame kit. Oh, it must have just come out. Oh, okay. So here it is. If we all have, this should be jumping through. So does it come with motors for 250 Australian dollars? This version comes bundled with a new OSD, regulator board, LED strips, and wiring harness. Includes both Mr. Steels, this is brown plastics, black plastics, as well as multiple other extras. I mean, if it comes with those motors, it might be a bit better value. Let's have a look. I don't know. It's saying here it's 250 Aussie dollars. So look, that's a lot of money for a frame. I don't want to rag too much on. Obviously he's putting his name on it, his brand on it, and Impulse is making some really high quality stuff, but it's also a lot of money. So I don't know. You don't need, if you're a beginner though, this is the advice, you don't need to get this frame if you are a beginner. No, in no way, shape or form. It's not going to make you fly any better as a beginner. You're not really going to notice too much of a difference. And I'm sure people in chat too can leave. That's just my opinions. I don't want to rag on this. Look, I'm sure the quality would be outstanding, but the value for money wise, and it's fine to make products that aren't targeted at value for money. You might make products that want to be high end performance, and Mr. Steel is all about high end performance and what he does. So if that's what you're after, you might not be so concerned with paying 250 Aussie dollars, but it's probably about 170 US or 150 US from my little conversion. But for me, I think that would be an awful lot of cash for me to spend out of my daily income to go and get a frame. All right, let's have a look back to my mug here. What do we got here? Hi Stu, your first build was your first microquad about 4 years ago, and I'm still flying it today. Thanks, mate. That's kind of crazy thinking back to that build. Jesus. Oh. Look at this garbage. I did a video on. Let's get these ads out of the way. Look at me. Look how much I was so much younger, skinnier, fitter, all of this sort of stuff before children. But I reviewed a piece of plastic polycarbonate frame. That's how much I love this hobby. You know, people are like, how do I start reviews? All this sort of stuff. I reviewed this. It was like, I think it cost me $11 or something, or maybe I got that shit free, but I had to do the motors. I still wanted to break it down and have fun and talk about it and weigh it. I went full deep dive on it, and then I took it out the back, and I think I flew it around, and you can see the dog was chasing it there, having a good time. Ah, the good old days. That was honestly the best way to exercise your dog. He loved it. That was all, except I don't think the neighbors liked it too because he would just bark all the time. Yeah, that was, I've got to give a big shout out to Nick from Earth, Fire, Air, Water. I don't know if they're still around, but he did some good design work and kind of did help me at the start. We had a lot of discussions back and forth when there wasn't any of these big companies making binder flies or anything like that. All right. Your $99 bill got me started. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That one's from Gary Short. Monkey FPV. Get a 5-inch quad if you want to fly outdoors with a GoPro. Whoops are very different. Absolutely. Lots of people saying FPV. They're enjoying this hobby. Monkey is also saying his first build was the $99 UAV build. No need to buy the best frame when starting out. That's right. Would you recommend the O2Xs? Yes, absolutely. They're a fantastic goggle. Where can I sell my quads? I don't know about that one. My hair, what, now or back then? You know what? This is another thing too, because we're locked down, I can't even go get a haircut. So it was a really bad time just to skip getting a haircut. So now it's probably going to be like a big afro soon that can't even go and get it cut. It is funny to look back. Response from Rob. Hey, mate, I'm from Melbourne. Much love. Thanks for all the tips. Absolutely my pleasure there, brother. What should a second drone be after a 5-inch? I would say, where do you want to fly? Do you want to fly more freestyle? It's all about the best way to think about what sort of drone you want to get is, and this one is from uh, John Castle. The best way to find out what drone do you want is where do you want to fly it? When do you want to fly it? Is it somewhere you want to fly indoors? Do you want to fly around a little playground? Do you have some big open spaces? Do you want to go do races? Do you want to do long range? Think about that environment, and that is the best way to find what sort of quad you want to fly. For me, if I already had a 5-inch, I would probably look at getting a little brushless 1S, maybe something like the Mob 6 if I wanted to fly around indoors, or if I want to do the HD, the Beta X65 HD, or whatever one of my recent videos is. I would say go check that one out because I would want to fly around indoors. So I've already got my outdoor action. I could do some indoors, but it's just up to you wherever you want to go flying. Use a quad to cut your hair. Yeah, that we'll see. Maybe we'll see how barbaric we end up getting when the world all goes to not a good place with all this coronavirus. Um, I'm off to dinner now. Dinner time in DC. Really enjoyed it. No worries, brother. I'm glad you enjoyed. Thanks for stopping into the live stream. Someone else saying thanks for all the reviews. I'm in the process of putting together. This one is from Sean. I'm into the process of putting together my first cine week with all the goings on in the world. Parts are hard to get a hold of. Any places that to get parts that are cheap and in stock? Well, I don't know where you live, but I think Bangers, if you're international or if you don't want to ship from there, I think if you're in the US, Race Day Quads does some really good stuff, so you can check their stuff out. I have no idea what stock levels are like though. Do you recommend learning to fly acro mode with a tiny whoop or a 5-inch quad? I would say recommend get on the sim, try acro mode, and then you're good to go. But the caveat to that is I do fly self-stable mode when I fly indoors with my whoops. Flying tiny whoops during the lockdown, staying at home won't be bad. That's from Joshua. Monocle FPV, thanks for the Lava X excitement. You and Grumpy pretty much got me and my girlfriend to get into FPV. We love UAV. No worries, brother. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. It's the corona coming in. Buy hair clippers, but not from Bangers. Yeah. I've already got a pair of hair clippers, but you know what? I don't want to just get anyone to cut my hair. I could say, oh, see, you don't, the problem with getting your wife to cut your hair is if you don't like it, then you're not allowed to say anything. So you might be like, oh no, what do I do here? So I would prefer to get it cut by the hairdresser. Someone recommends the Eachine Trash Care, and that's from Tobias. Distorted FPVs, say it, just jumping in. What's the time in Oz right now? I think we're about to hit, it's 11:30. So coming up on midday. Have you quarantined yourself? This one's from Degree. Has COVID-19 affected your financial income? Yeah, actually, it has actually. I can't get out and fly. Getting products shipped in is a bit of a pain, so a lot of that has happened. People aren't really buying 5-inch drones, so I guess the demand for them is a lot less. People with their Patreon support, totally understandably, if they've lost their jobs or anything like that, then they write me an email, Stuart, I can't afford to support you on Patreon. So yeah, it has been pretty hard actually. It's been a little bit stressful, but I don't want to get too negatively into that. I prefer to stay positive. I don't want to bring other people down. I want to try to make their day better and make these videos. Is there a law that we need to get a license to fly any drone anywhere? So that one's from Jason, and I kind of have a rule. I don't comment on any laws or legalities ever. Based on whatever country you're flying in, I would just say check your local rules and guidelines, and that's not, if you watch my channel over 5 years, that's something I've never really discussed. So yeah, I'm just going to totally skip that question. I know you keep asking it, but that would be the answer why. This one's from Tobias. He's still asking the same. That's the same sort of question about it. So sorry, brother. All right. Thanks for keeping up the great work. My favorite quad at the moment, ER349. That's a very good one as well. Government stimulus packages are buying my first quad. So that one's from Degree. You know what? Because I'm a sole trader, I don't get any. When it comes to government stimulus packages, it just doesn't. I don't get a single cent thanks to coronavirus. Shave your head and save on shampoo. So big shout out to my friend there, Roland B. I could shave my head, but then I'd have to look like Malice Vex or Crashed as Cal, Grumpy Trevor. They just say I'm copying them, so I don't want to be part of the crowd. This one, Spud FPV. Cheers, bro. That's $5 is very much appreciated. So if you've got any questions, fire away. I'll do my utmost to answer your questions in detail. Kyle Thompson, best ready to fly freestyle, at least the good suggestions for 350ish or just FPV in general. We spoke about this at the start, but Emax Buzz is a great one, or the Nazgul is an absolute ripper if you can get one of those. So there's lots of good bind and fly options. I think if I have a look back at some of my recent videos here, your videos, we'll go through and have a bit of a squiz at some good ones. And if you want to try a wing out, this wing here on my the most fun I've ever had line of sight, it was awesome. I love taking that thing out and going to fly with that. So let's have a look at ready to flies. I think we had a whole bunch of micros actually for a little while. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of micros. Oh, the DJI Titan was pretty cool if you're into DJI stuff. And then, yeah, I would probably say the Nazgul. So this one, we're looking for the Nazgul Killer. Is this the one we're waiting for? It was good, but I still preferred the Nazgul. Didn't quite take it off the podium. Or if you want to just jump in and see something amazing, the Catalyst Machine Works is, what are they trying to give me a masterclass in? Electric guitar. Yeah, I definitely need that. This quad here, the Bang God is from Catalyst Machine Works. Absolutely baller. I don't even know if this was the flight footage from it. I think I was too excited. I broke this one down into 2 videos, which is very rare for me to do if you look at all of them. Must be soon. I've kind of lost where I put that. Here we go. Should be. I thought it would be in here. The Bang God. Oh, I don't know. I think it's somewhere in there. Have a look for my Bang God reviews anyway. What do we got in here? This freaks me out. I've got so many things to take care of when it looks at like trying to stream, like this monitor, my OBS monitor, my live stream monitor, worrying about the scenes. Hopefully I'm doing an okay job anyway at what's happening. All right, UAV futures. This one's from Nick Sebring. with today's $3 5-inch props, is there a need to balance your prop? Nah, don't balance your props at all. No way, man. You don't even need to do that. Back in the day, we used to put bits of tape, glue. I had a prop balance. You'd sit it on, get it all balanced. What a waste of time. I can't believe we used to have to do that. Just buy some Cyclones, Gem Fans, Red Ruprol, whatever it's going to be. Throw them on Avance, the Scimitars. You are off to the races. Ethan keeps spamming me about what do I use for the Tiny Hawk Actro Project Mockingbird. No, just Mockingbird. I just fly it out of the box, man. I think the Tiny Hawks fly great and ready to rock and roll. This one is from Roland B. I remember the photo you shared of GT with hair back in his DJ days. Yeah, I know. Oh, Trevor, I miss you, brother. You got to come over for a cup of tea once this coronavirus settles down. People are watching in the Netherlands. How long is the quarantine in Oz? We're in the end of April here in Texas. And yeah, I'd say probably going to be a bit longer. I don't have good hopes for the future in terms of lockdowns and that sort of stuff. Does hitting the like button really do anything for you? You know what? It doesn't do anything negative for me. Even if you hit the dislike or like button, it actually does make a difference. So I can see now we've got, 59 people out of all the people who have jumped in have given me a thumbs up. It probably does something. It probably pushes it somewhere. People can watch my videos, and then YouTube's been kind of not enjoying my content lately. So I don't know why that might be. Maybe I'm just making content that people don't enjoy, but when you do short videos, like what have I got here? One of them was like a little flight video or something. They were like, nah, we're not going to do that. Or if I talk about I'm back, and if you have a bit of a break, YouTube kind of gives you a bit of punishment in terms of how much it pushes your videos. All right. You need to get the ad block extension from Chrome. It'll remove all ads on YouTube. Yeah, I understand that, degree, but then I wouldn't be able to support the other people's videos that I watch as well. So people don't realize that those 5 seconds that you spend watching an ad help other content creators. So that's why I don't have ad block or anything like that on my YouTube videos, because I want to kind of at least help those other people making that content that I get to watch as well. I don't want to be a hypocrite anyway, because I definitely need the YouTube income to survive. So I kind of, as well as the people I support on Patreon, I like to watch their videos with ads as well. And speaking of which, I'm just going to throw this in here for anybody who's interested. Here is a little Patreon link from myself. If you want to sign up, it would be greatly appreciated. Even at like $1 a week, or $1 a month, or $2 a month. It really does make a difference. Trying to work and build that up in these times of uncertainty. You might think, you know what, I could support Stuart. It helped me get into the hobby. It really does make a difference to my monthly income and ability to make these videos. And especially in times like this, you're not too sure where the future's going. All right. Hey, Stu, when you reviewed the first eMac Hawk Pro, did you have any problems with the Betaflight OSD? Mine keeps flickering. Not from memory there, Alex. I feel like I've watched a few of your videos before, Alex. I don't want to say old, but are you maybe an older gentleman? Because I think you make some really cool stuff from memory, if I'm thinking about the same channel. Maybe over in America somewhere. I think I might have watched a few of your videos. Did I have any problems though with the Emax Hawk Pro? Not from memory. If it wasn't in the video, if we didn't mention it, it wouldn't have happened. Didn't know it affected all that stuff. Ever had trouble binding your FreeSky Tyrannus before, Stu? Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes, especially lately with the Access Protocol or ACCST, whatever you want to call it, FreeSky is just being stupid. They're dumb when it goes to D16 or D8 and the different protocols or whatever they want to run. I don't know why they did that. It just kind of ruined it for me. And I've gone very much off FreeSky. And depending on which firmware you've got in there and the module is flashed to, all this sort of stuff, the internal module, it's just, you definitely can have problems. Mob 6 or something else, I'm going to say Mob 6, Mr. Shady. It is the bomb, unless you want to do HD, in which case check out the recent 32 gram channel, which was the last video on my channel. Nick Sebring again. I've got a Reverb 5-inch, Gecko 3-inch. Absolutely love them. Currently working on prop reviews. I must say they're all pretty good. Just like rates, all subjective. Yep, absolutely. I fly so many different props, and it doesn't really make a difference to my style of flying and how they feel in the air anyway. I think There's much, much bigger things to nitpick on. And this is another problem that people have in the hobby. They love to make distinctions and big deals over tiny things when that it's it's all pretty much the same. Unless you're doing something drastic like, look, I've got a 2207 motor, here's a 1403 or a 1406, whatever motor. Okay, that is a huge motor difference. But you're like, oh, this is a tri-blade 53 gem fan prop, or this is a tri-blade scimitar prop. You know what? You put them on the props, it might feel 5% different, but you're just going to be making some stuff up if you're talking about how much difference it feels, all that sort of stuff. And it's also a marketing ploy to make people buy more stuff. And like, oh, this is the next greatest thing. I'm getting on a bit of a rant here. I cannot stand people who, I'm going to say companies here, build a quad and then say this is the next greatest thing, and then this one, I've just released this bit though, so if you go and buy this bit, and then here's the next greatest iteration, go buy this piece. And if a company keeps making those little increments and saying this is the bit that you add on to this bit, or the last product you bought, go and buy this one, based, and it's all coming from one company, it's a scam. Don't trust them. It's just they're making you spend your money, and you don't need to do that. You can still have a great time with the stuff that you've got. There is no need to go and upgrade if a company keeps consistently just doing little increments and telling you that that's what you should go and do. Anyway, that just really pisses me off to see people told to go and spend their money and they've just spent something and the same company releases the next thing, all that sort of stuff, or the same person does the same. Anyway, just a bunch of junk. Enjoy what you got. It's not going to make that much difference. All the quads pretty much do very, very similar stuff if they're similarly spec'd. Some are better than others, and you do pay for what you get for in some regard, but there is absolutely no need to go and drop thousands and thousands of dollars on cash and tell you that you're going to get a tenfold increase in performance. I don't know, maybe that's why I like value stuff so much anyway, because I don't want people to waste their money. Have I tried any simulators on the PC? I want to get into this, but I don't have enough money to get in case I crash. Would learning on these simulators be a good idea or a bad idea? So Joe Doe games and stuff, bro, jump in the sims. They are an absolute godsend and invaluable. You need to, if you want to learn, it's the best way to learn. Joe Somali, I'm beginning. How can I choose my props? Just testing. I need more information to answer that, brother. Echo B, don't buy the hype train. That's it, brother. And I'm not saying that specifically in a brand, but cheers, Havoc for $5 put towards the next internet bill. Got to keep those kitty videos running. Yeah, that's it, bro. That's what it's about. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. If you got any questions, man, fire away. I'll do my utmost to put yours as a priority. And Josh Moss, definitely. Quads are fun. $500 or $50. Yeah, that's it. You don't need the greatest stuff to get out and get flying. If you have that and you enjoy that, I'm so happy for you. And if you've got the money to spend on quads and it's not that much of a, just, not out of your disposable income, it doesn't take that much of a hit, and financially you're fine to drop $250 on a, what we're looking at before, the Mr. Steel Apex frames. I am super happy for you. That's great, and you deserve to have that and get and enjoy it. But if you are the everyday Joe who has the average, let's just say average American income, that's like you're getting up into when it becomes percentages. Let's say you're going to buy the Fat Shark HDOs, you're going to buy a full kit. That's definitely percentages of your income, which for me, I wouldn't feel comfortable in spending. I'd much prefer to just use a lower value range and get out and get flying. That's just how I feel anyway. And I like to put myself in the shoes of the average flyer. So thanks very much, Robert. Giving me some money towards my haircut. All right, but we might have to see how much we can get. I think it's $25 for to get a haircut, but I am worried about the coronavirus and catching it as well. But as I digress. If you got any questions too, Robert, I'll do my utmost to put yours as a priority in this live stream. But yeah, I think I'm getting distracted now, thinking too much about haircuts. But yeah, you don't need to spend the best to get the most out. I want to be like you, even though I get all my quad parts shipped for free. That's absolutely no secret. And some people are like, oh, maybe you make these videos and just say that to get these quad products. I don't need more quad products. I just want to give you the information, get flying, and we've explained, because I want to change people's lives with how awesome it is. It is just, I want to give you the information. I want to pretend that if it doesn't matter if I get it for free or not. is it good? Is it a good buy for you? Is it something you should spend your money on? Is this what I would be getting if I was in your situation and I was at work spending my hard-earned cash buying my own drone parts? Is this something I feel is a good value to you? And that's kind of where I feel like my mission is, to give you that information. I don't, and that's probably why I don't really see the value in some of that really, I don't want to say the word overpriced, but if you read between the lines, some very, very expensive gear. Hence, probably why Orca's not going to send me a pair of goggles for review. Why Fat Shark refused to send me a pair of Fat Shark HD V2s for review. So that's where I got to give a shout out to. And a lot of people don't like companies like Bangers, but without companies like Bangers, they don't care what I say about the product. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do my Fat Shark reviews, and you wouldn't be able to see my impressions on what they're actually like and sharing them with my friends and giving you their impressions. So I could give a shout out to them in times like this when there's companies who don't want me to have a look at their product because they worry, I guess, if I don't want to say the truth, but they don't want to see my opinion based on some other people's opinions who just constantly rave about them. And so when I talk about it, it's not not in their best interest, but it's in your best interest. And those companies often don't like me to review those products. So shout out to Bangers because they just still send me whatever and they don't care what I say about it. All right. Hey man, this one's from Off Axis. I'm ranting there. Absolutely. Hey man, Off Axis FPV. Thanks for all you do all the time and the time you take out of your family to kind of do this stuff. Respect and glad to see you safe and healthy from Vancouver. Thanks very much, man. I do have to give a shout out to my wife because she's super supportive of what we do here, and she's seen how much FPV means to me and knows how much I want to share that with others as well. So I couldn't do it without her support. But enough soppy love stuff. I'll have to timestamp this and be like, look, love, she's so amazing, she's so beautiful, so sweet. Love my wife to death. That's at 1 minute 12. So let me just note that down, and I'll be, oh look, I did mention you in this video. All right. Okay, Raymond, I would love to say I've built 2 race quads from your videos and loving them as well. They were the Vampire and the iFlight Dove V2. Can you do a review on the stack you put on them as well? I probably won't do a review on the stack, but if they are working well and you've got those, I'm so happy that you're flying around. The Vampire was a pretty beast one. I think that was one of Granger's race builds, and it was a monster. Possibly the fastest we've ever had, 117 miles per hour. Not one bad review on the Nazgul. So yeah, the Nazgul is pretty good. That's from Nick. He's answering someone else's question. Your headphone cord is wrapped over the top of the mic. It's killing me. It's not, is it? You know what? I'm getting too excited. There you go. That's for you. And this part here, this little cord dready, I don't know what the deal is, but if I unravel this is how it's kind of stuck. The cord is just twisted up like that. If I untwist it, it feels like the wire naturally wants to go back to this position, and I'm worried I'm going to break it. It's going to put too much stress on it or something. If I'm constantly unwinding it, straightening it out, it's just going to snap. This is how this little cord dready, it's here to stay. It's probably a good thing too. So if this ever gets yanked really hard, it might not break it. What is the size of the long screws in quads? Like M3s? What ones are you talking about there? M2s? I'm not sure which screws you're talking about. Is Fly Sky a good controller for freestyle? See, I'm going to say, Ted the Pineapple Man, you're getting ahead of yourself in terms of, it doesn't matter whether you fly freestyle, whether you fly indoors, or it's all the same stuff when it comes to what radio you want to use. But Fly Sky as a protocol, is that a good radio to use? It's not the best. I think the top is TBS, then Free Sky, then Fly Sky. What league team do you support, Stu? So do you mean sport? I'm not too sure what you mean there. This one's from Epi Logie. I might have missed what you said, but you went to Hong Kong, right? Yes, I absolutely did. I thought FPV isn't allowed in Hong Kong. I don't know. I met up with the head of TBS, went flying with Trappy, and you know what? This is the crazy part. There were some cops right behind us, which is a very different story when you're in Hong Kong, or from what I'm told, to when you're in, like, if I was flying here and some cops turned up in Australia, hey, boys, what's going on? Yep, well, no, we're just having a fly. You could have a chat with them. Police in China, or definitely mainland China, but police in Hong Kong, I guess you don't know how the situation's always going to go, but some cops turned up, about 20 cops turned up at this hill where we were flying FPV, and we just kind of sat and waited, and they let us do our thing. But yeah, so the cops didn't seem to mind that we were flying anyway, but it was a little bit sketchy. Ronald, Stu, best channel ever, funniest videos. ever was with the Grumpy Trev rant. Yeah, Grumpy Trev, he is an awful lot of value. How do I fix shaky FPV cam on the Runcam Swift Mini? It's very solid build, but it's flying when it shakes. So I would say you might have some oscillations there off axis. So maybe do a bit of tuning, center of gravity, and another thing you might have a loose camera lens, you might have a loose camera, or it might even be a loose sensor in the back of your camera if it's one of those larger cameras right there. All right, just got some antivirus junk popping up on my screen. Granger is who we got here. Yeah, Granger's going to be coming on the stream, not on this stream, but he definitely should be out flying more. And I've got some new drones that I want him to test. Best goggle on the market currently. I don't know, probably the DJI headset if you're going for extreme performance. What patch antenna do you use? I use the little TBS one, or maybe even a little Immersion RC one. But a good cheap one is the triple feed patch, which is here. I'll show you a picture on the screen. Triple feed patch antenna. It's an open source, I think it's open source patch antenna. This one is really good here. Let me just go to screen cap. This bad boy, it's been out for quite a while, and yeah, I've got to say it's awesome. You can use it right hand polarized, left hand polarized. So yeah, someone's saying when I say the thing Bob's your uncle, it kills me. So I don't know why. Is there an advantage to setting Expo in Betaflight as opposed to your TX? This is from Foolish FPV. Absolutely. So if it's on your flight controller, you are still retaining the resolution that you have in your throttle. But if it's on your TX, you lose resolution, so to speak. So this is going to be a hard one to explain, but it is always better to set it up on Betaflight versus on your transmitter. Best radio is a multi-protocol like the T16. I guess that's debatable. People need to when we talk about best, it needs to be defined. So you can have the best multi-protocol radio, the best long-range radio, the best radio to pack down and easily fit in a small bag. So I guess best budget radio, best performing radio. There's a whole bunch of different things. You've got to put clarifiers around that word best. Which is, I don't know, I get a lot of emails about that and I always need to ask, what specifically do you mean? Too easy. Oof. Alrighty, hello from New Jersey. What do you think about the KEP RC Rocket Plus Lite? I don't even know what that is. Let me have a bit of a Google. KEP RC Rocket Plus Lite. This? It looks like a Cine. I don't know if I can find that. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be coming up when I'm Googling it, so I'm not too sure what that one is. Alrighty. I crashed. This one's from John. I crashed my drone gently into a tree and now it sounds wrong and is flying slower. How should I go about figuring what's wrong? Can't see anything visually. Right, so check if do you need new props? Are your props all bent and out? Is your battery a little bit damaged? Make sure your battery's still fully charged. Like go through the whole process of what this could possibly. So I would say check props, check that there's no loose connections, that there's no like problems on the ESC wires if they're soldered on there, if one isn't just loose or touching it. Check your battery's not damaged, check your battery's fully charging, all that sort of stuff, and then go out, fly it again. And if that doesn't solve your problem, I doubt it would be fully broken. If it's flying a little bit, it should be flying a lot. That's the worst sense. If it's flying a little bit, quads are all or nothing. It's probably going to be flying fine, but if something is hardware broken and a bit snapped off or something, it's probably not going to be flying at all in most cases. All right. Well, Jonathan Simon. Yeah, when I say the term, yeah, there you go, blah blah blah. Bob's your uncle. It does translate to what I mean when I'm saying that is. There you go. That's what it's like. There you go. That's the answer. Or Bob, do this, and Bob's your uncle. You're all done now. You're right to go. Best budget radio. T16 budget. maybe, or maybe even a QX, one of the X9D Lite Pros from FreeSky. They're pretty cheap. Just have a shop around. Yeah, RC, WIC, everyone always asks best with no parameters. Yeah, you got to definitely have that when you're looking for the best, whatever you're after, with those that criteria. Travis, love your channel. Got me into the hobby. Thanks very much, Travis Stevens. That's the whole mission of why I do this. Stu, your Bob. Is DJI close in TX range to Crossfire? As far as I can tell, but I haven't done any extreme long range anyway. This one is from this one's from Epilogy. Sorry for the late reply, but I live in Hong Kong, so it might not be easy to fly outside for me. I guess I can fly my Whoop. Actually, you know what? I got to give a shout out to my main man Jimmy, who is always on the Discord as well. So if you're not on the Discord, make sure you're jumping in there, having a chat with everybody. You can see there's already some people in here, but this is another good thing about Discord. Before I'm going to jump over to this in a second, but Discord is a great way to meet people, but my main man Jimmy, who's always on here, he's in Hong Kong, he's flying all the time. He is in here. So if you're in Hong Kong and you want to meet up, Jimmy might be someone to go flying with. Maybe I'm throwing him into the deep end here, but yeah. So he's always on here. He's from Hong Kong. I talk to him daily, and he is often getting flying. But now I'm digressing. Speaking about Discord, what is really cool here is you can see if you are new or you just want to talk to some people, you can jump into help chat, you can help people. I'm not too sure what these two people are doing because they both seem to be muted themselves, whether they're showing a video or whatever's happening, but you can jump in, talk to people, get your build help, just jump in. Trev's personal bleep line is usually where we hang out and just shoot the garbage, but if you definitely need some help or want to talk FPV, not only can you chat in here and type, but you can also jump in and have a look. Back to my mug cam. First time caller. I think where did I read that? Thank you for getting me to the hobby from South Africa. You got me in the hobby here from US. Hi there, long time subscriber, first time caller. No worries, FPV Alex. Thanks for subscribing, brother. I hope you are enjoying the content because I couldn't do it without you guys. I couldn't do it without support of the viewers who watch, people over on Patreon. So it does make a huge difference to me being able to do this and put in as much work. People don't understand too how much work it takes when you are trying to edit a video, go out and film. So you get your product, you learn about it, spend some time getting to know it, you go out and you fly it, you film it on the bench, you edit it all in. It's you building a thumbnail, which might take an hour. It's a ton of work right in the description. You're probably looking at 12 hours for a full review video, 12 hours of work for a 12-minute. So 1 minute equals, when you break it down like that, 1 minute probably equals 1 hour of work on that drone. But you can try to, there's some shortcuts, so you can try to break that down. So if I'm out in the field, I'll film 2 quads. So even though I was there for 2 hours, I filmed 2 different quads and filmed Jono flying 2 of those in that same sort of time. So as you do have to find these little shortcuts, but if you just went out to make 1 video and I did everything from filming my friends, getting them flying it, learning about it, flying it myself, doing my overviews, editing it, filming it on the bench shot, filming it on the face cam shot, all that sort of stuff, you're probably looking at 12 hours for one 12-minute video. That's why you got to break it down with shortcuts and do groups of things that all work together and have whiteboards and, okay, I need to film this part and tick these parts off, all that sort of stuff. Alrightio. When tuning, what should you tackle first? I run every stock on my Tyro 109, but I want to start getting into it. There's so many variables, props, batteries, PIDs, rates, etc. I don't really. I'm going to throw some spanners in the works here. I don't believe in tuning that much. It's probably something else in your build before you need to worry about the tune. So if you're jumping in and talking about upping the D's and the P's and the I's and the D's and the C's and the E's, all that sort of stuff. Imagine if I just spelled some word there, I'd be embarrassed. Imagine that. But anyway, yeah, tuning should be the least of your worries. Just put some props on there, go for a fly first, and then you might have too big a battery, all that sort of stuff. More tricks from Granger. Remember when you threw the fat shark case at him? So that one's from Mega City Perp. Yes, this was actually one of my better pranks. I can't even remember what that video was. Granger FPV UAV futures. Let's see what comes up first. No. Where is this boy, Granger? Granger. Let's watch one of Granger's videos here. UAV Futures test track 2 years ago. So this is how slow this boy used to be 2 years ago. We'll watch his ad. Please have an ad, Granger. He might not even be able to have ads. Oh, he's got 1.6k subscribers. Well, that boy blowing up. And I don't want to put his music on because I'm sure that I'll get copyright striked. Hope you enjoy. Let's see how we go, Granger. Can he get through this noodle gate? Look at him go. You can't fly here anymore. They've put all these trees in here. This part is all completely overgrown. Oh, I don't know what I just pressed there. I pressed some button on my keyboard and it did something. Is it the arrows? Might be the volume. I bet you I'll get copyright strike now for putting that up. But all right, Granger, what else you got on your latest channel? Let's have a bit of a squiz while I'm answering some of these. New start for the channel. Okay, we gotta watch this bad boy. Let's see what he says. Do I even risk having the music on? Oh, if I get copyright strike, Granger, you're gonna get in trouble.
Is it recording?
What's he
See,
doing
I'm still
here?
trying to figure this thing out. Anyways, guys, what's going on? It's been a very long time since I've actually spoken to the camera, and well, we got a new camera. So we've got the Canon 200D. It's a
I'd give you a tip too.
It's a very good camera
this
for
on
what
my
it is.
videos
It
as well.
was pretty cheap. So thanks to Paul from the BMS Web. Those guys helped me out. So hopefully we have some better content, more
I watch
quality
all my
content
YouTube
in the
videos
future.
sometimes too, especially people who talk slow. Alright, so we've got Granger's dog. And that's probably enough music to get me copyright strike. Thanks very much, brother. So there we go. Back to my videos. But yep. Let's have a look back to answering some of your questions. All right. Stu, you got me into FPV with the OG Wizard like 3 years ago. Thanks for you and your ridiculous enthusiasm. Stay safe. So, my pleasure. So that's from RC with Adam. That original Wizard, as much flack as people like to have about that thing was a beast for the time. You got to remember that had BioHeli S ESCs. It had an F3 flight controller, which sounds so old now, I know, and it had a solid carbon frame with an OK camera for $127 from memory. It's going back 3 years. Someone can stat check me there, but that was unbelievable. The next closest quad was about $300-400. So it was a huge step forward for the hobby. All right, Travis. Also, what camera are you using in the field? I'm running back to pick up a quad in a recent vid with the stabilization was butter smooth. Thought it was a gimbal. I do have a GoPro 8, so I bought myself that for, I think it was for Christmas. Maybe it was for my birthday. I got myself a GoPro Hero 8, and I'm going to be trying to use that a little bit more to give you better footage and stuff like that as well. So that's how I try to get that stabilization on. Alrighty. Every time my son is sick, we stay out watching your videos. So I hope, this one's from OG Scoot Can West. Here's what I hope. I hope your son is not sick and you guys can still stay up and watch my videos. That's what I would prefer. But if you have to choose between being sick and watching my videos, don't watch my videos. Just get well. That's the first priority. Stu, tons of batteries or field charging? Tons of batteries, brother. That's how I would say. And I've bought probably 80% of my batteries I've paid for myself. So I don't believe in field charging. I feel like that's too much work. Unless you're there with a car, maybe, but that's just too much work for me. And I just have a heap of batteries in a little pouch and do that. Right. I am going to have a bit of a break while I'm going to go quickly run to the loo, and I'm going to play one of my videos just for 2 seconds, and then I will be back, and
This is a card.
I might just do some game and hang out, answer some more questions, all that sort of stuff. All right, let's skip this.
You're stuck inside, but you still want to fly your drone around? Well, stay tuned, because this is the world's smallest HD drone.
And you can see this is how I watch all my videos, ×2.
G'day, Stu from today. Well, yep, I'm get excited because, like I mentioned, this is the HD of the future. This is the Beta FPV Beta 65X HD, and this little bad boy is the smallest HD recorder out there. So this little drone does some amazing stuff. We're gonna break it down, put it on the bench with the text and the specs. Most importantly, go for a flight and show you just what it's like. But let me roll you some footage, get set to get stunned, because how many of you are used to footage like this, and then all of a sudden now you can turn that footage that you're seeing into footage like this. So you can see it is an absolute just godsend. And now we have a tiny little drone that has some crazy HD capabilities that is also ultra light. And I also should say a bit of a bonus too. A huge shout out to my Patreon Patreon supporters because as much as I love this drone, the link's going to be down below, I am going to also give away one of my Patreons out there. So definitely if you support me on Patreon, it helps me make this content, share this message of FPV, get people flying. So if you enjoy my content, you're thinking about signing up, the link for that's down below as well. And somebody out there is going to be winning this exact little one. So what we're going to do, let's break it down. First things first, as a bit of an overview in the roof cam, and I should say also, it also binds up to my Crossfire, so we get some crazy good range, good reception, and most of all, that gorgeous HD footage. So what is this? It is a tiny little whip-sized drone. It takes 2S, and the big one, you can fly this around indoors as much as your heart desires. It's not going to damage anything, but it can record in some HD footage. So like you saw at the start of this video, you are getting some of the best footage we've ever seen in a tiny little craft. So the world's smallest HD drone, and that is no mean feat. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and I think if you're going to be taking this to whip races or anything like that, this is going to be something. If you're not dying for the podium, but you just want to have some fun and watch the flight footage later, everybody loves watching HD. So let's stick it on the scales. It does have, I've got two batteries in here. They're just some beta batteries with the special connectors on the end. They're 300 milliamp hours. So let's put it on the scales, tear it off. And let me get this in here and click tear. So we're all nice and zeroed in. So the total thing for this HD recorder is coming in at under 50 grams. So we have a 50 gram flying drone that records in HD. That is absolutely bonkers. And the best bit, like I mentioned, it can bind up straight to my Tango 2. There's a bunch of different receivers out there, but now we've also got some Crossfire options. A lot of people are going to be very, very happy. So let's do it. Before we jump in and have a look at some of the footage and flying around, let's quickly go through some of the components. Starting at the outside, and you can see it's just got a sort of standard whip style frame. Underneath, we've got those two batteries, like I mentioned, with the, I think they're the PH2 connectors or the BT2 connectors. I'll put a little annotation on the screen anyway. They're meant to offer a bit better juice in terms of the amount of amps you can draw down sustainably. Also underneath, like I mentioned, we have our little Crossfire micro receiver, which is brilliant. I love that you don't have to rely on inbuilt boards anymore. We should be getting much better range. Towards the outside, we've just got some AO2s. I think they're 14,000 KD motors, and little gem fan, tri-blade props on the top. And then in the middle, we've just got a standard F4 flight controller all in one. I think it's the V2, so I'm going to put another annotation on the screen. And on top of that, we have some of the magic. It is, it's on my phone because there's no...
Alright, so that's watching me in times two. It's you, like you needed to talk any faster. You know what? When I am watching my own voice back, it's always easier to watch your own voice in faster speeds. I probably watch it on ×4 when I'm editing. So it's one of my little tips. I just try to rip through my speaking as fast as possible when it comes to editing, cutting frames out, all that sort of stuff. Thanks to, Premiere Pro. Right. What are we going to do? Very fast. I can't understand. I'm having problems following what he says. Stu, can you fly it live for us now? If I had some sort of way to connect it up to here, I absolutely would. Radio. I like everyone's wash your hands. Yep. Okay, you know what? I think I'll still be answering some FPV questions. What I might do now, I think I'm just going to do some chill out, answer some questions, play some games. So that's it for the majority of the stream. The rest is probably just going to be me mucking around, playing some video games, all that sort of stuff, and just hanging out for a while. I've not even drunk my coffee. I've been talking that much. All right, I think I'm going to play a game called The Cycle. I don't know if anybody has that. I thought I was catching up on LG when I came in. I don't know what LG means. John Davis. Nice Stu from Ohio. Hope you and your family are doing well. Thanks, John. They are. Rightio. So, let me get this sorted and ready. And you can see how terrible I am at video games when we have to play with 250 millisecond ping. And I'll try and turn the sound down and all that sort of stuff. So now the stream, I'm not too sure how it's going to go. So we'll just see what happens. And I'd love to know too what you guys thought about it. Is this something you want to see more? Did you enjoy just hanging out, having a coffee, all that sort of stuff? Yeah, we do get some lag when we play the cycle. Night Train FPV. You know what it's like playing with 300 milliseconds. Thank you very much, Australian Liberal government, for our world's worst internet. We were meant to have good internet, and they literally came in when that party got into power and went, nope, we're not going to do that. You guys cannot have good internet. It's going to cost too much. And now we're stuck with garbage. Some people still using like dial-up. We want to see a solo... hang on. Raven says he wants to see a solo cycle victory. And Prince Vast, when is the next giveaway? There is a giveaway over on Patreon if you want to check that out. So you can go visit this bad boy right here. But let's do it. Let's jump in and see how this works. If I press this. Tip on how to... Oh, and I'm still going to answer all your questions as well when I'm playing this video game. So I will stop doing what I'm doing. I don't care if I win or lose here. Here's just literally just to have some fun. I'm going to load this up and then I'm going to answer some questions. Tip on how to fix a camera sensor, or is it time to call it Donskis for that camera? If the sensor is dead, it's dead. You can't really do too much for that. All right, Mr. Shady likes these live streams. And I'll try and do what you guys want me to do. So I'll give you the stream some options on what I should be doing. And I can't believe I've been streaming for 95 minutes, that does go quickly. And it wasn't that hard in terms of, I was kind of a little bit anxious about it. I didn't want to muck it up or learning how to use this software properly for the first time, but it didn't seem to go too poorly. I'm sure you guys will let me know anyway. Hopefully the audio was clear. We didn't get too much stutter, all that sort of stuff. All right. So this one's from Raymond Mitchell while we're waiting. The Bitmarta interviews, what a great ambassador for the sport. So I don't know what interviews you're talking about, but I know Thomas and Paul Bitmarta are absolute legends. My heart goes out to those two people for just the nice human beings that they are, what they do for the hobby. And Thomas is so skilled. Like, he is in the top 10 races in the world. He is like just a freak on the sticks. He is amazing. And he is so humble about it. That means a lot to me when people are he's just nice. He will give you tips. He would give his closest rival tips on how to get better, because that's the sort of person he is. He just wants people to get better and be the best they can be. He's not the win at all costs if it means sabotaging or hoping the other person fails or anything like that. That's not Thomas Bitmarta at all. He is just a genuine, nice person. So yeah, huge shout out to him. Oh, thanks very much, John Davis, for the Patreon $1 link. Here we are. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. All right, let's have a look here. Which team do you want me to be, guys? Not that it really makes much of it. It doesn't make any difference. So we'll just pick the orange dudes. This is my little character here. And this game's free to play as well. And the whole idea of this is we're going to go and try to kill some people and kill some of these suckers, but you win by completing the most objectives. So whoever has the most objectives completed at the end of the game, if you evac off the planet, you win. So it's kind of like a battle royale where you are versing all these other players on the map at the same time, but you don't win by being the last person surviving. You win by evacing and have completed the most objectives or got the most points during that match. Alright, it's called Dedicated. John Davis, old people playing video games on the line. Yep, I'm an old people. Russ is an old people. Absolutely. I don't even know if Russ is still watching. But yeah, Russ, I played this game with Russ, I played this game with Jimmy, I played this game with Dodgy, I played this game with Raven. All these people I've met on Discord. Just been playing here. Alright, what we're going to do, we're just going to go, none of this boring plays here, we're just going to go, and if we die, well, bad luck. We're not going to play it safe, we're just going to play super aggressive and try and go for this big crystal deposit up here, which is where you can get an awful lot of points. And then I can die and show you guys how bad I am. And I could still, Russ plays all the time. Yep, doesn't play very well. Poor Russ, I give him so much slack. I'll probably get shot too while I'm reading some of these chat questions. Any issues with the Tango 2? Not yet, but I have heard that don't mess with the battery voltage on there or the warning readout for the battery voltage because it can get stuck in some sort of loop, but I don't know too much about that. Hey Stu, how do I fix a bad video feed? I'll get this gas here. Work on your antennas and make sure you're not using auto scan. Make sure you are, this is really hard to do two things at once. Make sure you're manually selecting the channels. Alright, so we're going to try and complete this crystal, kill all these monsters that pop up, and see what happens. And we'll probably get, there's also a heap of other players on the map, so they're probably going to come and jump me in the back, and it'll be all over, and people can write how terrible I am in the chat. Oh. I haven't played this for probably a month actually, well, maybe 2-3 weeks. It's been a little while, and it really is hard to read chat at the same time and kill stuff. Stu once bought us all pizza over $150 and the pizzas were huge. Yeah. So I have met up with Raven one time, you know, met him on Discord. He came down and a bunch of other boys, they all flew up and I got everyone pizza, and I drastically overestimated how much pizza we get for $150. We had days and days of pizzas. I didn't know they'd be quite that big, but I also didn't want people to be hungry. You can't be a host that let me leave that guy. You cannot be a host that doesn't feed their guests. And this is taking forever. Oh. That big brute there is freaking me out. Shoot, my mouse isn't working. Man, I don't remember this being so, it's not slow, but it's taking so long. You know what, I'm gonna buy, oh, let's see if we can steal this sneakily. Okay, here's the plan. Drop a turret, distract them all, get wrecked by that dude, and try and steal this crystal while we can. Ah, go away, bugs. This might not go well. We're try and complete this. Whew, okay, that was the main part. As long as we got that, we're okay. Alright, and now we can go do some other stuff, because it's not so much about killing the monsters, it's about completing those little objectives. It's available on Epic. Is that Glock semi-automatic or auto? I got mine set up as semi-automatic, so we're going to go capture this little objective up here, go get some gas. How does the Beta 65X compare to the Mobula 6 with flight characteristics? So that one's from Farm God, and I'm going to say the Mob 6, I think, flies better. But it doesn't do HD. So if it was up to me, it depends. If you want HD, of course, get the 65X HD. If you don't, get the Mob 6 if you don't care about that sort of stuff. Alright, so I just captured that objective, so that should stay mine until another player steals it. And I'm going to be saving up, you can see, it's sort of hidden, but I have $260 and I'm going to be saving up for a $500 weapon. Instead of just buying a $200 one. This game is free. Yeah, this game is free. It's got squads and stuff as well. I'm just mucking around though, playing a bit of solo, having some fun. Oh, I can't believe we're actually coming first too. Oh, there's a player down there shooting at me. Bloody. There's two of them as well, so we'll see what happens here. Oh, they're shooting each other. Okay, well, why that happens, we're gonna try and steal this. This is not good. Alright, we've got a pistol, he's got a machine gun, so this might go really badly. Ah, okay. Oh, I'm about to die though. Okay, well we got one player at least. This guy has a much better weapon than me though. Oh, this needs one hit. Come on. There we go. Drop a turret. Well, we killed two of them. Whew, my heart's pumping a little bit there. Alright. Tiny weapon in brushless 2 years of tech. Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy how far our hobby's come. Where's the next one here? Down over here. It is crazy how far our hobby has come. I used to just dream about being able to fly around HD and not even fly HD, just record HD. So that's the crazy part. And now we can do it with a brushless whoop. You know, that first Hubson that I flew, I just think, man, I once tried to fly my 5-inch inside because that's how much I love the hobby, and it just didn't work, right? This is a couple of years ago. That's not how it works, and just to think that now we have the capabilities to do that with those little crafts. Okay, I can hear another player around here, very close. And he's using the same pistol as me. What are we at? I don't want to, I'm not going to do that. Not yet. Just put some money. Here we go. Buy one of these. And the reason I use this rocket launcher is not because it's good, but because it's a little bit easier with the lag that we have, so you don't have to be as like this idiot here. Great, thanks, brother. See what happens. I'm sure you guys want me to go and fight him, right?
The central station can be powered now. Hurry up, prospector.
So we're just going to try and capture this, then we'll get out of here. You don't really get points for killing people, and you do get a respawn. So I'm going to leave those people there. What game? This is called The Cycle, so it's free on Epic. My first quad was an Eachine 250 Racer, not the Pro. Been 4 years, crazy long time. What's the best way? Keeping up with the new stuff. Eachine 250 Racer. I can't even remember. Eachine 250 Racer. Was that? That sounds bad. Anyway. Alright, Josh I. No, I'm not. No one wants to buy your quads, brother. Post on Reddit somewhere, or RC Classifieds or something like that. No, this is not the place to be trying to sell your quads. Right. Keep firing away with your questions too. Is the Mob 6? That's the deal. What's my PC setup? It is a laptop, an MSI laptop. I know I should have a desktop, but we're going to go over here. Is that a player? There we go. Yeah, I wish I had a desktop, but at the time when I started my channel, you know, we're living in a really small house. I had to turn the lounge room. It was only a 2-bedroom place, and I had to turn the lounge room into a studio, so we didn't have the space for a desktop. I'm worried about this player that's around here, actually. He's probably over here. We'll see what happens. He's got a turret. He sees me here for sure.
The next data package is bigger. Capture uplink to get head start.
I don't know what he's doing there. Shit, we're getting shot by 2 people. Push that. I don't know if he just gave up or if he just... well, there's another player down. Been looking at the Nazgul 5. Alright. Alright, I'm just going to
down. Shutting down.
Another player in here. I'll probably die here.
Shutting down. Error. Error. Shutting down.
Kit adapted to improved operation in current environment.
Oh, and I just got wrecked.
Alert. Vitals critical. Triage engaged. Vitals stabilized.
Alright, much gratitude for your humbleness, Stu. Work hard, brother, yet family always first. Absolutely. But... Dun, dun. Just gonna take care of some stuff in chat. Alright, there we go. People trying to sell stuff, which is not what I'm about. Best sim for a low-end PC. I would say FPV Freerider, FPV Air V2. And what is this game? This game is The Cycle. And we're not doing terribly well. It's free to play. We are currently 7th. I think I was focusing a little bit too much on PvP.
Check me
Go
out.
capture this uplink. There's like vehicles and stuff you can buy. Yeah, it's free to play.
Now put that thing to good use.
Yeah, FPV Air 2 is a sim. That is not free, but it's like $5. I think it's on Steam. I'm getting distracted, reading chat and also playing. I don't know how those gamers actually do this. How do they read chat and play a game? Unless it overlays on their screen or something. Right, I'm gonna jump off here and see if I can go and steal. How do I get off this thing? Come on. I can hear a lot of fighting up there. Oh, should we go for it? Try and kill 2 of them? Why not? What's the worst that could happen? There's 1 down. There's 2 down. Oh, poor blokes, I feel bad. Not that bad though. We'll take this grenade. And we'll see what happens. There's another player over there. DCL is the best feeling sim. Yeah, DCL is a pretty decent sim. Shit.
Uplink established. Now stay connected if you can.
You're gonna lose that uplink any second. Oh, there's read in chat. Thanks very much, bro. And I'm dead here. Try and evade, but it's not gonna work well. I'm gonna hide out here a little bit. If someone were to make a drone game that wasn't racing, what do you think it should be? It's just like Velocidrone, I guess, or it's not all about racing. It's about flying around, doing some freestyle, all that sort of stuff. That player is right here. Right above me. Let's go. I want to kill this one because he's the one that was trying to kill me before. And rockets are terrible against people actually in the air. There's players everywhere. Both me and this player are like sick of shooting each other, I think. And we've got 2 minutes to go.
The next data package is bigger. Capture uplink to get a head start.
What are we? We are 7th.
Looks like progress bar for uplink relay is almost full. Switching soon. No way my pilot's touching down until the landing. Get to work.
And then I'll go on evac and probably end this stream.
Uplink is no way my pilot's touching down until the landing zone's clear. Now get to work, prospector.
Come on, just hit this dude. Poor bloke.
Warning, under attack by multiple prospectors.
Whew. Alright, we'll go evacuate. Oh, $5. Oh, from Josh Irishman. Stu, help me out. If my 4S 1500 LiPo dipped from fully charged to 12.9 on the first punch out, what's the problem? My quad has those KV motors. Well, wait, I'm going to say... Give me 5 seconds, I can answer this properly. Maybe a bad battery? If I had to ask, does the battery voltage jump back? I'm going to stop this game now. Thanks for that super chat. Let me jump over. I don't know what became. Let's have a look here. Okay. If my 4S 1500 LiPo dips from fully charged to, let's say 13 volts on the first punch out, what's my problem? My quad is 2500 kV, rather hobby motors I think, and 680 grams. I'm going to say that's probably normal. Like you are probably sucking down so many amps when you do that that just big burst of power, that would be normal. Does it bounce back up? Does it come back up slowly when you're flying around if you just go to a hover or something like that? Because that would be totally normal in sort of in everyday flight anyway. Let me know. Yeah, no, it's normal. I can see you got another chat there. Yeah, that's normal. Every other people saying that too. If you're interested, we came 5th with this will be the last. You can see there. I think, what did we do? We killed people, which is not really what you're meant to do in this game so much. So if I killed you, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to quit this and jump back to the stream and say some goodbyes. Robert Oblet, maybe it's me, but what's the point of having a live stream if you don't comment unless someone pays? Well, I don't know, if you watch most of the stream, this last bit was just a bit of chilling out, but for 90 minutes we sat here and answered people's questions, a Robert Orlep. So then I said, that's probably the end of the stream. Now I'm just going to play. Stick around and watch if you want. Anyway, enough of some people just don't enjoy free content and get very antsy. But what can you do? If you get good batteries, they'll have less sag. Yep, but I would say even with the best batteries, if you're punching out on 1500, even the best tattoos or whatever you want to use are still going to get get that sag in them. And last one, 4S or 6S for my first drone. I've heard 4S has a lot of sag compared to 6S. Yeah, if you want to jump in, I'd say 6S is more efficient, and just have a look around. I'd say 6S is where to go, but don't feel like it's a huge step forward. It's just a little bit more efficient. But if you've already got a bunch of 4S gear, there's no point making the switch as far as I'm concerned. All right. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a bit of a random, different stream. I thought I'd jump in, test it out, see how it went, shoot the shit, talk to you guys, and yeah, very much appreciated. So, I don't know, hopefully my channel's helping people in this time, and something to do if they're stuck at home, indoors, quarantined, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, subscribe for more FPV related content. It has been a pleasure, and I will talk to you guys soon. I'm going to finish this and work on editing some videos for tomorrow. So anyway, and I should also shout out to my Patreon supporters as well. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying. Check the Discord, check the Patreon, all that sort of stuff. Discord definitely, because this is a lot of fun. If you haven't been in here yet, a lot of people chit-chatting, talking, just having a good time. So anyway, catches. Let's end this stream.